Hey guys, it's your girl Kay the Bookworm, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my August wrap up, so stay tuned. I've been gone for a while, but I'm just trying to juggle the new things that have been popped up in my life. So my goal is to at least put out 2 videos per month, so I can at least try to give you guys some content. And if I'm free during a month, then try to like slide in like 1 or 2 extra videos in between. So, but I'm definitely going to stick with 2 videos per month. So for my TBR, I did said I was going to be 7 books, and I read all 7 books. Technically all 7, I say like 6.5 because I did DNF 1. But let's get started. So the first book that I read was Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. That was her first book. I've already read Monday's Not Coming. I read that last month. And I've already read Let Me Hear a Rhyme. And I love both of those books. I'm super excited for her next novel to come out, which is called Grown. That comes out September 15th. And I've heard nothing but great things about that book. I know she did like the first chapter was like an audio like snippet on her Instagram, and I got to listen to it, and oh my gosh, just the personification, like just the way how she like kind of like described blood as beet juice. It just pomegranate, I think it was pomegranate juice, I believe. It just made me like, wow, definitely going to get her books. Like I said before, anything thriller fiction, I'm getting it from her. If it's not from Tiffany D, I kind of don't want it. That's just my opinion. But Allegedly tells the story of a girl, a 9-year-old girl named Mary, who gets allegedly accused of killing a 3-month-old baby. And the only person that kind of knows the true story is her mother, but her and her mother don't have the greatest relationship. So because of that, her trial becomes headline news. It becomes worldwide news. And because she's so young, she gets placed into a juvenile detention center for 6 years. And when she gets out, she gets placed into a detention home where like a lot of girls are there for multiple different reasons. And the girls there do not like her at all. She gets treated like crap. Like her social worker, her caseworker, like caseworker, social worker, the people, the ladies that she lived with, all treat her like crap. And she's just trying to prove her innocence. Like, listen, I did not kill this baby, and I don't deserve to be here with these people. But then she also gets pregnant messing around with this boy named Ted. She gets pregnant as well. And when she gets found out that she is pregnant, a lot of people, her people that she works with, the social worker and the 2 people that lives with her, basically telling her to, you know what, I need to give us for adoption. So she is trying to kind of solve her case as well as kind of keep her baby. Let me just say, I was shook the entire book, especially the ending. I was super shook. But every time I thought I was on the right track and like kind of solving the case, Tiffany kind of just spun me for another turn. And I was just like, damn. But that ending had me shook to where I did not, like, I had to like text somebody that I knew that read the book and like, listen, did I really just go down? Because I was super shook. But if you have not read Allegedly, definitely read it. If you haven't read Monday Not Coming, definitely read that. If you haven't read Let Me Hear a Rhyme, definitely read that. And definitely get her new book. Once again, it's called Grown. That comes out September 15th, which I'll definitely be getting very, very soon. But I rated Allegedly 5 out of 5 stars. So the next book that I did read is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. And I rated that a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Let me pull up the description so I'm looking at my laptop. If you hear noise in the background, that's my family. They're loud, sorry. But Song Below Water tells the story of 2 girls named Tavia and Effie. Tavia is a siren. Effie is her best friend. And Tavia basically has to keep her identity, her true identity, a secret after a siren is killed on TV, on like camera. And Tavia and Effie are best friends, and you get to see how the cause and effect of that video kind of affect both of them. I did love the Black Girl Magic, the dynamic of it. I love how you got to see how they're like no matter what happened between both of them, like their sisterhood always came back as a force and one. I love how she talked about natural hair. I love how she also included the Black Lives Matter movement. The only thing I did not like about this book is the description of the characters. She did post some like creatures, but at the same time it was like there was just like a, okay, here's a creature here, here's a creature there, and that was it. There was no full out exclusion of what the creatures do or why they're in Portland. Like, why is Portland the significance of all these different creatures, you know, out of the entire country. That's one thing I did not like, as well as I think it was Tavia's father. I did not like him at all. I felt as if he was like only being there as a burden, like he was ashamed of Tavia because of who she was. And another thing I didn't like was the setting of it. Like I said, it told you of all the creatures in Portland, but she didn't really go into detail of why Portland was the significant place for all those creatures. That was the only thing I didn't like about the book. But other than that, I loved it. It was my first ever audiobook, so I did get to read it in audio format. If you have the chance, I read it on Scribe. I think it's Scribe or Scrib. I think it's Scrib though. I read it on Scrib, and I actually liked reading the audio. So I thought, listening to the audio, not reading, listening to the audio as I read for the first time. So I thought that was kind of dope. But I think in my notes, I think that's what I wrote as well. So I rated this a 4.5 out of 5. The next book I read was All the Things We Never Knew by Lyra Tamani, and I also rated that a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I love the book, but it did give me a cliffhanger, and I do not like cliffhanger books if I don't have to read them. It kind of ended with like a what if type situation, because it tells the story of Lex and Carly who meet at a basketball tournament. Both of them are basketball players, and they kind of like love at first sight. Rex in love, Carly's in love, and you get to see how together as one they're like the perfect couple, but at the same time both of them are dealing with demons. You have Carly, who her and her little brother are dealing with a personal issue. Her parents are getting a divorce, and they have to choose within only a matter of a couple of weeks who they want to live with. Do they want to live with the dad, or do they want to live with the mom? As far as Rex is one of the top basketball players in the country, top 10 ESPN player in the country, but him and his father do not get along at all. They rarely talk to each other. Rex rarely knows when he's home, as well as his father really knows when he's home. And the reason is because of that, Rex's mother died while having Rex. And Rex feels as if his father doesn't talk to him because he feels as if Rex is to blame for his mother's death. So you get to see that dynamic between them, and I love the book. It definitely gave me Love and Basketball feels throughout the book. It was like a very happy, you know, young YA romance. But like I said before, it just gave me a what if towards like the end of the book. It's like, okay, that's how the book ends. Like, I wanted more. I hope she does do a part 2 to this book, or try to like do a little spin-off, because like I said, I think they were I think they were like juniors, so juniors in high school, so she could do a senior book, so I thought that'd be kind of dope, but who knows. But yeah, so those are the 3 books that I read from the library, and these are the books, and I'm about to go into the books that I read physically. So the first book that I read physically was A Diary of a Street Diva by Ashley and Jaquavis. And this is the book I DNF'd. I rated this book a 2 out of 5. Excuse me. And the only reason why I did that is because I did not connect with the characters, and the plot was totally predictable. I got to page 80 and I said, forget this, I'm done. Only reason why I said that is because I felt as if it was too predictable. It tells the story of a girl named Remy who gets shot by her husband in the day of her husband's trial. He finds her diary that basically tells her whole life. So we get to see Remy's life through Caesar's eyes. And there were just some scenes in this book where it was just like, really, sis? Really, sis? Really, sis? That's how I felt reading this book. There was like 2 to 3 scenes to where she could have avoided the consequences that came to her, but she decided not to. That's another reason why I didn't like the book. I thought she was really dumb throughout the entire, from what I read so far. I didn't like it. I don't see myself picking this book up to reread it anytime soon. And I'm the type of person to where if I don't have a connection with the characters or have a connection with the plot, I'm not picking it up and reading it. So I'll just keep this book as a collection. But yeah, I didn't like this book, and this is the book I DNF. FYI, this is the first ever book that I ever DNF to. So the second book by Ashley and Jaquavis is Long Live the Cartel, and I was super excited about this book, and it did not disappoint. This tells the story of the kids of Carter and Mia, and Monroe and Lena, as well as Breeze and her daughter Aurora. And Cease is a big time boxer. Monroe is basically like I can't say drug dealer, he's not a drug dealer yet. I say a sick-up kid. And Breeze is basically living her life in Arizona with her daughter until a tragedy happens to where all of them have to come back to Miami. And because all of them back in Miami, certain things from the past, like from their father, their grandfathers, come back and haunt them, and a tragedy strikes them to where they have to stay in Miami for good. I absolutely adore this book. I think I got this book on a Saturday, and I finished this book in like 2 hours on that Saturday. That's how much I love the book. I also love the new character named Ashton. I love her. There was one scene in the book to where I thought that she shouldn't have done, but I understand her reasoning of why. But at the same time, if she didn't do what she did, I would have been okay with it. But she did it, and I was like, I wish she didn't do that. But it is what it is. And then also, there's 2 people from the past books that come back in this book as well. So definitely love this book. I also have Money Devils, which is kind of like a low-key spin-off to the Cartel series that I'm going to be reading for next month on the TBR that I'll be doing. But if you want to read this book, you have to read all 8 books of the Cartel, then this book, then Money Devils to actually understand the characters. But Long Live the Cartel is my first 5 out of 5 stars that I read. Next, I read A Blade So Black by L.L. McKinney. This is an Alice in Wonderland retelling. It tells the story of a girl named Alice who lives in Atlanta, Georgia. And in the night of her father's death, she kind of falls into Wonderland where she meets Hatta. And during the time she is in Wonderland, she becomes a night walker, which basically is a kind of like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer type thing, but only in Wonderland he kills nightmares that are haunting the people in Wonderland. I gave this book a 4 out of 5. Only reason is because of the slow start. It definitely has a slow start, but towards like the middle and definitely in it goes off like crazy. I love that Alice is all about her friends. Alice is a true friend. Alice is one of those friends that I don't care if I get in trouble. As long as you're good, I'm good. I love that about her. I also love the fact that you get to see the relationship between not only Hatta and her, but also her other friend named Courtney, who was a ride or die, as well as another guy named Chase, who kind of has a crush on Alice, and she has a crush on him too. But yeah, at the same time, she kind of has a crush on Hatta. So definitely a great book. I definitely could see this as a movie. It did leave me with a cliffhanger, but I do have the second book, which is A Dream So Dark, that I'm going to be reading next month as well. So super excited for that book. And if you want to hear somebody that actually rated this a 5 out of 5, I'll leave her video in the cards, but it is Bookish with Mariah. She absolutely adores this book. So if you want to hear her review on it, I'll leave it in the cards so you can check it out. And the last book that I read for the month of August is Intercepted by Alexa Martin. This was my first ever romance book, and I absolutely adored it. I did rate this a 5 out of 5 too. It tells the story of a girl named Marley Harper who is dating a famous football player, but the football player cheats on her, and she basically says, you know what, I'm not staying. If I don't gotta stay, I'm leaving you. She leaves, and then she runs into another football player who is the new quarterback of her ex-boyfriend's team, and they kind of hit it off again. Granted, they did have a previous hookup in the past. I love this book. I love everything about this book. I love the fact that it did give me the TV show The Game vibes, more so on a Melanie perspective than a Duran's perspective, especially when it came to her being in like the football wives club. Like the main one, like the president, did not like her. I wish Marley really would have fought her because of the things that she said, because you know they're wives. Marley's a girlfriend, and when you're dealing with one football player for years, you leave and then you come back dealing with the head quarterback, people go, I gotta say something. I love how Molly stood her own two grounds. I love how she did not back off. Anything somebody said negative, she came back swinging. I love that about her. It definitely gave me some ideas for my book that I'm going to be doing, because I am in the process of writing a book that involves football in love. So definitely love this book. And yeah, I'm going to be getting the next 3 books that are with this, which is called her playbook series. She has 2 books that are out right now that I'm going to get next month, and then the 4th one that comes out in October. So Intercepted, Alexa Martin, I rated this a 5 out of 5. And guys, that was my wrap up for August. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys saw some suggestions that you want to read. Let me know in the comments if you want to read a book that I mentioned. Also, leave an orange heart in the comments if you made it this far. I'm back and I'm ready to show you guys what I'm reading next month. I'm super excited for next month because next month I'll be participating in the Bad Bitch Readathon by Neeks with Stuff. I'll leave her video in the cards as well, but I'm just so amped. Like, y'all don't understand. I'm so excited for that readathon because it just, the books that I want to read for the readathon is dope. I have 3 books right here, so I'm gonna give you guys a little preview of what I'm gonna read. Money Devils. Finally start reading Cinderella is Dead. A Dream So Dark. And I'm in the process of reading Legendborn. And let me just say, Legendborn is dope. That also comes out September 15th, so definitely get that book as well. But those are the 4 books that I'll be reading for the Bad Bitch Readathon. Stay tuned for the next video, and I'll tell you which prompt I'm going to be reading it with. But until then, guys, have faith, have confidence, be you, always, always, always love you, and I will talk to you guys later.